Hello again. In this video we will be doing a little more troubleshooting with our new trigger, sample trigger. Let's go to the view processed messages on this trigger and let's look at this one. Right button click, view message, and trigger process log opened. So as can be seen from the trigger log, I was trying several times, reprocessing the same trigger. This was the original run when we had this error when we couldn't open the database, and we went ahead and took the minimalistic approach, gave my security authentication to one of the services. Let's take a look which was that service. Let's go into File Explorer, this PC, manage services and application services. Let's maximize. Find ThinkAutomation, and the service we gave higher privileges originally was the ThinkAutomation server service. So let's go back to the trigger log. So earlier today I tried to rerun this trigger, reprocess this trigger, and I got the error message here saying failed to open the database again. So even though we tested the update database action and tested successfully from the trigger, apparently something else went wrong. And after trying a couple of times, I came up with the same error, and I chose to go a different route, trying to research in a different place. So where did I go? I went to the service status. I went into the service status, ThinkAutomation server. We gave this service sufficient privileges originally. Then there was an edge server. There is an edge server. You see a lot of red stuff, and the message says host not found from check IMAP order processing. So this one apparently had an issue, and the other one, message processor, also had an issue. Let's see. Let's look at the original issue of today. Failed to open database using connection. This is the connection string. Cannot open database requested by login. Login failed. So, login failed for user anti-authority system. Okay, so apparently this service, message processor service, also tries to log in to the server, to the SQL, and it needs higher credentials. So I went ahead and gave both of these services high credentials. Let's take a look again. properties. Oops. Right button click, manage services. Now let's take a look at ThinkAutomation services. So I went ahead and gave my login credentials to ThinkAutomation Edge server. Reads messages from multiple resources prior to being processed by the message server. So, and the other one was ThinkAutomation Message Processor Server. The ThinkAutomation Message Processor Server processes trigger actions for messages placed on the edge queue. So after doing this, as a reminder, the login is given in the properties, logon tab, and you put in your user ID and password. So after changing this and restarting the service, let's go back to the ThinkAutomation, and let's go back to the constant triggers. Actually, let's look at this. After giving the sufficient privileges, I retried again. The last retry was at 2015. It looked clean. Up to this point, error updating database field, which means it opened the database, but it had an issue with phone field cannot convert value without loss of data. It turned out that the phone field was too short. I'll pause this video and we'll update the database table and add a couple of more characters in length to the phone field because the phone field on the order is 12 characters long. I believe the table that I built has only 10 characters. Let's see, phone is 10 characters, fax is 10 characters. So why don't we do it right now? So let's use Adventure Works table, and let's drop sample orders. Drop table sample orders. Let's execute that line successfully. Let's execute this line. Before executing, let's add a couple of more characters. Here, why don't we make it 20? My mistake. Let's make this 12. Let's find the phone and fax and make it 20. Make it 20. Email, let's make 50. And let's see what else. Let's make this 20. Dated. Let's make it 15. Okay. Let's execute this successfully, and let's just take a look. Let's select, looks good to me, and why don't we try? Okay, let's go to triggers. Let's double click on this, right button click, view processed messages, and let's re-execute this message. Right button click, reprocess this message. Confirm, and the pop-up shows here that it's executing. And let's look at the trigger log again. Right button click, view message, trigger log. Scrolling down, and there was another error. Error updating payment type, status 2 cannot convert value without loss of data. Alright, so we went past the phone field update. Let's see what we were able to do so far. Yeah, we are actually stuck at updating. I will troubleshoot this offline, and we will continue with this trigger, working with this trigger in the next video. Thanks for watching.